Hello and welcome to Curious Blend, the Createscape show. I'm your host, Keller Davis, the owner and founder of Createscape Coworking here in Austin, Texas. And this is a show where I talk to curious minds and interesting people here at the space. And today I'm very excited to have George Black with us.
Hello.
And George is a software engineer.
Yes.
You work with AWS, Amazon Web Services,
Yep.
and build web applications. And he's also been a member at Createscape since 2022. So I just wanted to say thank you for being here on Curious Blend today.
Yeah. No, Createscape has been kind of a cool, weird place in my life. I think you recently talked about like third places on one of the previous episodes. And that had me thinking about like how I came to Createscape and how it has kind of successfully been my third place. Like I've made friends there. I've gone to people's birthday parties of things like that. And so what's happening now in my life is I'm actually starting to work from like a corporate office because they built an office down the road, you know. So I'm splitting my time between here and there. Yeah. But I just can't get myself to leave Createscape because that's just where I know faces, you know. So yeah.
Oh, that's really cool to hear. I mean, you've been you've been one of the most engaged members at Createscape.
Yeah, a little bit. When you go out and buy food, you know, I'll show up most of the time, or cool puzzle games, board games, things like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm glad you are. I mean, that's what makes the community what it is. So,
yeah.
So we had Oliver on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I meant to ask him this, but I'll ask you instead about the, like in the early days of Createscape, I kind of knew everything that was going on, but and we were a much smaller, more lean operation. But more recently, like I'm kind of like caught between a lot of different projects and stuff like that, so I missed some of the stuff. But I think it's funny hearing about all the different like office pranks and stuff that go on.
Yes.
And so I just kind of wanted to see if you could tell me a little bit about some of those things, and which, you know, something that stood out to you or that was your favorite.
Yes. I have tried to do them without you noticing because I don't know how you take to that.
I'm fine with it. I have a great sense of humor. So
there was, I think, a good one is I took a picture of the business cards at the front, and I like copied the image and the font and the style, and I created business cards for Oliver and I to be manager and acting manager, actor, or like, you know, assistant to the acting manager, whatever. And then we just replaced the business cards from the front desk people with ours. And it took them about like a week or two to, you know, figure it out. And, you know, actually like, hey, wait, that's not our name on there. That's someone else completely. They don't work here. So I still have those at home. I don't know what to do with the rest of them because on Vistaprint, you have to order like, you know, in bulk,
right?
You
actually got them from Vistaprint?
Yeah. I mean,
that's hilarious.
It was just like the cheapest site I could find, right? Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're just sitting in a desk drawer, but they'll come in handy one day. Yeah.
I saw one of them on the bulletin board one day, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially because it's like, actually, it's like your name, like George at createscapework.co.
Right.
And what's funny is, you know, like for the domain that we have, like if it's a non-existing email, it just goes to me.
Oh.
And so far there haven't been any, as far as I know, like emails sent to it. So
you have access to my private email address, so you can forward them if I ever need to respond as my role.
I will. Yeah. So I'll be like, I'll just forward it right to you. So.
Yeah. So that was really fun. I think the other fun thing that happened at Createscape that is like one of my biggest memories is the pet competition.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a bunch of dogs at Createscape running for governor. That got pretty heated.
Yeah.
A little bit dark at times. All political campaigns get a little bit nasty. So I just remember the bulletin board in the kitchen being just like littered with like flyers and a lot of misinformation.
Like smear campaigns.
A lot of smear campaigns. And then, you know, I was out for most of that because I had just had my kid. But I still made it a point to like go to FedEx and get a giant poster printed for my dog Picasso and put it on the board in the kitchen. So like I was telling my wife, I was like, I got to go do something important. It's like sort of work related. Can you just take care of the baby for an hour? And then I had to go drive to FedEx and get that printed and then drive here and come back. And she's like, what were you out doing? You know? So
that's hilarious.
Yeah. Priorities. Yeah.
No, it reminds me of like the little I don't know, the ways that you want to spend your day, like, like on The Office or something, just kind of like little pranks and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was great.
So one comparison to, so the company I work for, again, I used to work like fully remote out of Createscape until my company decided to build an office in Austin, and now they're not paying for Createscape, so I'm just going there for a few days a week, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is pretty stark, as like everyone at that corporate office like is dressed like a sales dude or like an HR person. It's all very like buttoned up, and everyone's acting very professional, and the office is very sterile. And I don't know. I like Createscape because it has more personality. It's a bit weirder. Like it draws a bunch of oddballs, I think.
It definitely does.
like people that just don't fit into a lot of other spaces.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. The people I've met there are just wonderful and cool in that way. And so
I love to
I'll stick
hear
around
that.
a bit. Yeah.
There was someone I was talking about this with, but yeah, like a co-working space, everyone there, you don't have like work relationships with them,
right?
So you're not, it's kind of like the third place kind of thing I was talking about as well. Like it's like, any of the friendships or kind of like relationships you form at a co-working space, it's like just I don't know, it feels more natural and casual, I think, because like you're not. You don't have like a supervisor or a coworker, like a true coworker that's like right on your.
There's
shoulders.
not like a specific company culture kind of bearing down on you, or like, oh, you are working on a project with this coworker and you feel like that coworker is slacking, and so sometimes you have these tense or different types of relationships, and none of that. It's all clear of that, So I can complain about my work freely,
Yeah,
it's a good place for that.
So tell me about work right now, and kind of like what you're kind of like looking for going forward, like transitioning careers or jobs.
Yeah, I am actually looking. I'm interviewing for a couple companies here in Austin. Why I moved to Austin in the first place is a lot of the tech industry stuff. So I think there's going to be an offer coming soon for one that I'll accept, which will be really fun. I think one thing I've been lacking is just working in person with my team. So like right now, the team I work on at work is, there's a person in North Carolina and Michigan, and then another person in Germany. And I don't know, there's just, the connection there is just like lost. And so I just want to at least be able to see my coworkers and kind of have a stronger connection with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like in-person work is kind of a major reason why I started Createscape in the first place, just because I like being around other people. So I can, there's a lot of benefits to like the team atmosphere for that as well. So.
Yeah, as long as I can like dip out for appointments and work from home here and there, like get to see them a couple times a week.
Did you move to Austin from Wisconsin?
Yes.
Okay. When was so? How long have you been in town?
2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
around the time that you started at Createscape, probably, or
there was probably a year when I was lost in the wilderness of WeWork. I was bouncing around like 3 or 4 different WeWorks, and that was kind of sad. And then I kind of found Createscape and stuck to it. So yeah, there was a while where I didn't have any like place, not even like a second place. like you go to work, right? And you at least have some community at work. I didn't even have that. I would just go silently and sit by myself in a WeWork. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a different experience for sure.
Yeah.
So with like the tech industry in Austin, do you think that like, I guess in the tech world there's anything that people misunderstand about it?
There's really like 2 tiers of the tech world. There's like you live on a coast and you work for like one of these tier 1 tech companies, like Google, Apple, Amazon, and that is like a whole separate category from the rest of the tech world, which is every other company. They operate at a different tier, and the culture is different and whatnot. And so when people talk about tech, I think most of the time they talk about big tech, but there's also just a lot of like software development that happens in the rest of the industry. And yeah, they're pretty different, I'd say.
Yeah. You mentioned that there was a project that you were working on with Createscape members too. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, so earlier this year, it's February of this year. My wife is due in March, and I feel like time is closing in on me. like once I have this baby, I'm like, I will never have time for another side project or like passion project ever again, which is fine. Like I have to accept this, but like kind of like how people go through like a midlife crisis and buy a motorcycle. This was like my pre-baby crisis where like I need to just like do something and create something or build something. So I was looking around for different programming projects I could do. And I ran into a social network called BlueSky. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of it by chance? Yeah. Okay. So BlueSky is interesting to me personally because like the data is all open, like it's an open ecosystem. And so effectively it's like a new type of social network where if you ever like want to change your network provider, you can do that. And you can also build your own social network that plugs into the like BlueSky network effectively. So like suppose you had like a new company like Orange Sky, right? And it's a totally separate company from BlueSky. You could take like your followers and your content and your account and move it between BlueSky and Orange Sky, completely different companies, but it's all one network.
Right.
Kind of like how email addresses, like I can use Google, you use Yahoo, it all connects, right?
Yeah.
So that's what got me interested because it avoids like social media lock-in, right? And control of a single company. So I was looking at BlueSky and it's it was pretty primitive earlier this year, and it didn't have like a trending topics feature. And so I wanted to build like a website that would actually show you what are the trending items for today on BlueSky, specifically like what are people linking to, because most people are talking about news articles or sharing things of that nature. So I built a website with Oliver's help, like he was the official advisor. And it took me a couple weekends to build. And again, it was a simple website. It's like, here's the top 10 things on BlueSky. Here's how many people posted about it. Here's how many people reposted it, liked it, that sort of thing. And it was a silly little web page. I put some polish on it and then I forgot about it. And it ran for, I'd say, like 2 to 3 weeks with the only person visiting being Oliver. I would literally go to my analytics dashboard and see one user, and it was Oliver. And I said, you know what, Oliver, when this blows up, I'm going to give you a 10% cut of any income I make from this for being advisor to the project. Okay, that's the boring part of the story. The fun part is I opened up my phone one night and I had hundreds of notifications and from people messaging me about this website. And I first said, like, what the hell? How did anyone find this? And why does anyone find it interesting? And so I went to my analytics dashboard and I kid you not, it said there were 40,000 people on the web page at this moment.
Wow.
And I said, and I was like, what? No, like this is wrong. This is clearly incorrect. There are not 40,000 people on my website right now. And so an hour goes by and I'm just really baffled by this whole thing and I'm busy doing something else. And I come back to my phone later and I'm scrolling my BlueSky feed. And that's when I see a post by Mark Cuban. And I have no idea how he found this website, but he found this website and he posted a link to it. And then all of a sudden there were 40,000 people, which was super cool. And then it kind of kept rolling from there. So the BlueSky CEO also posted a link to it. And then that got it another boost. And like long story short, 30 days later, the website had 400,000 views, like in total.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool. So I put, those like little like buy me a coffee buttons that you put at the bottom of a website. Yeah. So I put a yellow buy me a coffee button at the bottom of the site and I ended up raking in $700.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
So that was fun. And I guess what happened then is things died down a little bit. And then I got a DM from Mark Cuban on BlueSky. He just started like reaching out and messaging to me. He's like, hey, I love your website. Can you make this change and that change and this change and that change? And so he starts requesting all these things. And I'm like, and I'm exhilarated by this. I'm like cutting work. I'm like taking a couple days off of work. And I'm like, I got to go build this for Mark Cuban, because like when Mark Cuban asks you to do something, I feel like you should do it, And I think one of the funniest things he asked for, which I think working with people like this is very difficult because like he's like firing off quick messages from his phone, right? He's not like spending time reading and spending a lot of time messaging me. He's just like, bah, 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 fire, right? So he messages me. He says, hey, I love the site, but can you show the number of clicks to each article on your site? And I go, okay, do you mean the number of clicks from like BlueSky, the app, like how many times people clicked a New York Times article from BlueSky, or how many people clicked it from my website, because it's a totally standalone website separate from BlueSky. And I can't get the data from BlueSky itself because I don't work for BlueSky, right?
Yeah.
And so I say, do you want the clicks from here or the clicks from there? And he responds, yes, the clicks.
Yes to all of it.
Yes. So I'm thinking this is what it's like to work for Mark Cuban. It's like, wait, did you mean this or that? Just make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did he clarify or what
no, he never clarified.
Oh, okay.
So, but anyways, we went back and forth for like a week, and this is where Createscape comes into play. Is Oliver and then one of the front desk people, Lauren. We went out for drinks, and they were helping me craft messages to reply to Mark Cuban, and they were kind of like my advisors. And so I each gave them like a 10 or 15% cut of the $700 that I made. So I got them each like a gift card for like
that's so
$20
nice.
or something like that to a local restaurant. So there you go. That's
I
like the
love
fun.
That.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen your BlueSky page, and I've seen the Blue Report, and it's super,
okay. Yeah, so you've
cool.
seen it. Yeah.
I remember people like members talking about Mark Cuban reposting it back in February or whatever that was, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
In March, I was at the BlueSky CEO's keynote address at South by, which I thought was really interesting. I do love like the kind of the open source nature of all of that and how you can connect it. Second, I was going to say like my friend who actually designed the Createscape logo as well as did some paintings that are in the study hall side of the space. Used to work for Mark Cuban.
Interesting.
10 plus years ago, and was like his graphic designer. So like products or companies bought from Shark Tank, he was kind of then put in charge of in terms of developing graphics and web stuff for. So anyways, it's kind of funny just how like a small world it can be sometimes.
Yeah, I with hindsight now, looking back at our conversations, I can tell he's interested in investing in BlueSky, and he put down real money investing in it. There are these two engineers like in the BlueSky ecosystem that wanted to build a TikTok clone.
Right.
And he just like reached out to them and then funded them however much money, and then they went off and built it. And it's hard getting these products off the ground, of course, but he was like laying down real money. So when he texts me and he's like, "Hey, you have any other ideas?" Question mark ... I'm like, oh gosh, is this my chance? Did I just, but my wife is about to give birth in like 3 days. So like, I can't like commit to a project or come up with an idea or anything like that.
Tricky timing.
So, no, it was funny. I got invited to the BlueSky meetup after South by Southwest. But that was, I had my son that night. So there you go.
Wow. It's wild how that stuff can line up.
Yeah. So it was definitely like an exhilarating time because I was just getting these messages, and every time I got a message from him, I'd just be like panicked. You know what I mean? Like, what do I say? And then at the same time, we're like, is the nursery put together? We got to finish putting together the crib, and getting. So it was a very fun time in life. Yeah.
Have you stayed in touch at all, or were you kind of like a little MIA after that point because of the birth of your son?
Look, I'm not an entrepreneur. I did talk to one of my friends who is an entrepreneur, and he's like, he just wanted to like gouge his eyes out at the fact that I never tried to take advantage of the opportunity and like pitch an idea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did just let it fizzle out. I mean, I got to get back to real life. I kind of view it as like a temporary kind of weird bubble that was happening for a second. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But what a side project, like leading up, during that time, and who knows what will circle back around, and
Yeah. I definitely got connected and made some friends with other BlueSky developers in the process too, and that was really valuable. And I still message with them, and yeah, it's a good time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you seem to have like a strong interest in a lot of tech stuff.
Yeah.
Including like autonomous vehicles, and you did like testing for Waymo before they kind of opened it up for the general public in Austin.
Yeah, I got the early access.
Yeah.
I love Waymo. I'm obsessed. I am like I'm super pro autonomous vehicles. Like driving in Austin is terrifying, right? Like, and especially with a baby in the backseat going on I-35. And I feel like every other day there's like a semi truck that's like crushing a car against this. You know what I mean? Just like there's something horrifying happening.
Drivers in Austin are not great.
No, they're awful.
And that's generous. So.
Yeah. Especially like, have you seen those cars that have those giant like spikes coming out of the wheels?
Yeah.
Like the triangular kind of.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
Every time I see one, I just want to like take a bat and just.
I'm always just move over a little in my lane.
Yeah.
Even though I'm probably not close to touching it, but
yeah. No, every time I see a Waymo, I feel safer. But I think in like 20 years the world is going to look a lot different as far as like self-driving and safety and everything.
Yeah. So there was like you wrote an article about or you interviewed someone who was kind of they were like in the vehicle that I guess swerved when there was a scooter that like someone on a scooter who kind of fell.
Yeah.
Could you tell me about that?
Oh, yeah. So this guy and his girlfriend were on a date one night, and they were taking their very first Waymo, and they were going down Guadalupe Street, which has this like bike lane next to it that's completely unprotected. And there was a girl like on one of these Lime scooters going alongside the Waymo. And effectively, she just like lost her balance and tumbled straight into the road, like really dramatically. And the Waymo did this incredibly hard and instant swerve that would be very unlikely for a human to make. Like maybe you could have done it, but like it's one of those things where you're really gambling with a human. If you were looking away for just one moment, right, you would not have the reflex and the instinct to do that. And she would have been hit and gone to the hospital. And so like there was a video of this incident posted by the Waymo CEO.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, watching the actual, and like since then there have just been like video after video. I was just talking to Lauren yesterday about how there was like a woman biking with her kid on the back of the bike, and this woman just like swerved straight into her lane, and Lauren stopped in time, but if she hadn't been looking at her phone for like 2 seconds, she would have hit and killed them. It's like, so I don't know. I feel like there's a big opportunity here for like public safety on the roads and stuff. It's enormous.
Yeah. No, it's especially like in Southeast Austin, I feel like almost every other car I see is like a Waymo. So
yeah,
it's I don't know. It's kind of exciting. Though that being said, I've only been matched with one so far on Uber. Like every single time, I'm like, please give me a Waymo. Please give me.
I just cancel it until I get a Waymo now.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's what I need to do. I didn't even think about canceling rides. So.
Yeah, but when I was doing the early access period, the rides were free. So I did like 90 something rides, and I'd take it to Createscape every single day. And I literally at the end of the day when I was like tired from work, I'd sit in the back of the Waymo and it would drive me 30 minutes and I'd pass out and fall asleep. Like I literally had to be like, oh, we're almost there, and wake up. So I don't know. I'm a big fan. I hope they spread and become more of a thing. But
yeah, I know we're still so early on in it. Like it's been less than 6 months since they even rolled out here in Austin. But it's interesting to see how things will go. In terms of like emerging technology and AI and stuff, like is there anything that you're particularly really excited with or that you're concerned about?
I don't know. I'm just a layman, you know what I mean? I don't have like any special opinions here, but I'm worried about like social isolation a lot. That's probably the biggest like societal concern that I have is just like the different technologies that we have to isolate ourselves. So like for example, like when the Apple Vision Pro came out, I was it's like a big splash into like augmented reality and virtual reality, and that's very cool. That like it's technically wonderful and impressive, but ultimately like a very isolating experience. Same with like a lot of just like social media and whatnot, and even I was even hesitant in the beginning about Waymo because I write little pieces online on my little blog about conversations I have with Lyft drivers, which some of them are just absolutely bananas because you just meet so many different people.
Yeah, you do.
Like, sorry, this is going to be a side tangent. Here we go. But this one guy who just could not shut up about John McAfee and Bitcoin for like 20 minutes straight. He was just like talking about how I need to buy Bitcoin. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. And like talking about how cool John McAfee was. And I don't know, just a really
from the antivirus software.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That guy. Which like, but he like, I don't know what's going on there, but it's like trying to think of other interesting conversations. I've had some like soulful conversations with like Lyft drivers, like late at night, or if it's like 2 a.m. going to the airport. Like okay, so this is going to be even deeper down a rabbit hole, but
go for it.
When I was dating Cassidy, who is now my wife, we used to live in Madison together for the first year that we were dating. And then I had to move to Washington, D.C. for a job. And so the night before I had to fly to D.C. and live out there permanently, we had a friend's wedding that went late into the night. So we ended up just going to the wedding, partying, and then hanging out into the wee hours of the morning. And then I had to get picked up by a Lyft at like 3 a.m. to go to the airport and then move to DC. So it was like just a lot of emotions in one night and incredibly heartbreaking. And we were sitting on her front porch at about 3 a.m. and we were just sitting there waiting for the Lyft to come. And I knew this is it. Like, we're going long distance now. And it's going to be like a couple of years before we can get back in person together. And so it's an incredibly sad moment. We're just super bummed out. And I get in the Lyft and there's like this song playing and I just start bawling and I start talking to the Lyft driver and I'm like, I'm leaving my girlfriend behind. She's going to be living in Madison. We're going to be doing long distance. And I'm just crying my eyes out in this Lyft and talking to the Lyft driver. And she was so kind and nice to me and dropped me off at the airport. And it was just like a serendipitous, like, human connection, right?
Yeah.
That would not have happened if a Waymo picked me up, right? It's not going to have, maybe one day it'll have a conversation with me, but it won't feel right if I'm having that kind of conversation with the AI. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah. So like, I guess bringing it back is just like technologies naturally, I think, socially isolate us in a lot of ways. And that's just like dangerous for people's health and everything. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I think that there's a lot of ways that technology has been isolating us for a while, and it's just kind of always escalating. I think I always think of like emerging technology as like it's all about how you use it, and like, so my hope is that there's ways that people can figure out the best uses of it for AI and other technologies where we can kind of connect more and not less. But but yeah, it's complicated. I mean, I have so many just notes in my phone of conversations with Lyft drivers, as well. Like, I don't publish them or anything like that, but it's just like, I'm just like, this person's talking about this. It's usually just crazy stuff. Like, it's usually like, especially if I'm like in Florida or I'm in New Orleans or something, the conversations can just get really off the rails.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Craziest Lyft and Uber drivers in Vegas. But.
Yeah. I might be in the minority, but I love talking to Lyft and Uber drivers. It's just great. I get life advice, sometimes the conversations just like chain you to reality because your head is floating in space about whatever your own specific problems are. And you talk to someone else, you get a slice and piece of their life, and it kind of just like recenters you a little bit, and gets you out of your own head, recalibrates yourself. But
of course,
I feel like those kind of conversations like used to happen more when we just had more like natural interaction with other people in our day-to-day lives, right? Just like going to stores, walking around towns, and just more general communication with strangers. You used to like calibrate yourself with society a little bit better, but like, I don't know, those conversations are fewer and fewer. And yeah.
How long were you long distance with Cassidy at that point?
We had been dating 1 year. I went long distance, and I think I was long distance for like 2 years.
Oh wow, yeah,
and maybe a little bit more.
It probably felt like forever.
Yeah, it sucked. It was terrible. Yeah. It's like
long distance is not fun.
And our lives weren't even like the same because she was living in a small town and going to like a technical college, like in an even like more remote area, like totally rural area, like farmers and stuff. And I was in Washington, D.C. So it was like, I don't know. Our lives couldn't have been more different. So I'm glad it worked out in the end, though. I eventually was able to relocate to Chicago, and then eventually went fully remote.
Oh, okay.
So I went D.C., Chicago, Wisconsin, and then Austin.
Cool. I love Chicago. I just got back from this weekend.
Oh, really?
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cities.
Me too. Yeah.
It's just amazing.
I used to like just take the bus and like, go downtown. And I actually have like a funny bus story in Chicago if you want to hear it.
Oh, sure.
Actually, it's not that interesting now that I think about it, but no, I just, whatever. It sounded better in my head. I was going home from like downtown, like the main like river downtown, so I was taking a bus. I accidentally hopped on the wrong bus and it got to the end of its line and I never got to my stop. And so I was the last person on the bus. So the woman was like, hey, like, where are you going? What's going on? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to stop over here. I got on the wrong bus. And yeah, it's not her job to like do anything for me. She should have just dumped me off right there and I should have just found my own way home. That's how it should have gone. But she's like, well, I can help you out. I can take you to like a certain area within, a certain range. So I said, nice. Okay, my apartment is like up here close to Uptown. And she's like, I'll drop you off along the way here. So she literally like drove a bus through like Chicago, like with me as the only passenger, like my private Lyft bus.
That's incredible.
And got me within like a few blocks of my apartment. I was like, thank you so much. So I don't know.
That's what a couple bucks got you, right? So
yeah. Anyways,
I think everyone in Chicago is so nice. Like, I don't know. I was like, I went to a Cubs game over the weekend, and it was, the Cubs won, and the bathroom afterwards, it was just people. Everyone was singing, and like it was just like everyone in unison was just singing songs about Chicago.
Yeah,
it was just like you could. I don't know. The energy was just really, really palpable.
Yeah. And the stadium that you're at there too is like embedded in the city. You know, it's not like there's like 8 million miles of parking lot. In some suburb, right? And then it's like boom, it's there. And I feel like that. I don't know. It makes the whole atmosphere pretty exciting.
Sure.
Yeah.
At one point, there was talk about Austin getting a baseball team, but
interesting.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it in a couple of years, but
yeah.
But I think it'd be hard to place it anywhere close to downtown just because of real estate and geography and stuff. But
they were gonna try and do the Austin FC Stadium downtown, like just south of the river, which would have been like amazing.
It would have been really cool, but gosh, they struggle so much just with like ACL and Zilker and stuff in terms of traffic. It's it's not planned out enough and as far as all that. But I'm sure you love Austin, having been here for a few years.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, yeah. What are some of your favorite parts about living here?
And
really what keeps you, I guess.
I think the East Side is really fun. We still haven't been to like a ton of different parts of Austin, but the East Side is great. I just love it. Feels like hipster and kind of cool. A lot of the I would say it is things like Createscape, like smaller places where you can like just find some sense of community. Because when you go out to like the neighborhood I live in now, Easton Park, is like a new brand new neighborhood development. It's like master planned. All the houses.
I live very close to there. So
really?
We actually are pretty close.
Yeah. We love it, to be clear, and it's great to have with a kid. But like, there's no identity to it, right? And one thing is like, I just want to live somewhere where there is some level of identity. And where Cass grew up in like Platteville, Wisconsin, there was like the little town center, and then there's like the one park in town, and that's where they would have like music every Thursday night, and it'd be some local dads, like playing in a band. It's like I don't know. There's like some sense of identity and like something more than just like bland, generic city, because I feel like more and more you can go to any city and you can get a Starbucks cup of coffee, you can get a Waymo, you can get, everything is like standardized. And so, yeah,
I think Austin, most of Austin really values businesses that aren't chains, or I guess the chains that really thrive here are the ones that like are based out of Austin, like Pete Terry's or something, But there's, I've lived in Austin for, 14 years now. And I still have like a list of like all these old Austin things that I'm like, I still have never been to like Egos or something, or Continental Club. And I don't know, there's like places that like I've been referred to again and again that I'm just like, but slowly I've been trying to knock them out. Like, year by year, I'm like, I'm seeing more and more of Austin, and you can't do it all at once, but it's I'm making my way there just through the town and just trying to explore all the different neighborhoods, and even just sometimes getting lost a little bit in like some subdivision of Austin that I have never been to.
Yeah, so. There's so many little gems just like sprinkled everywhere. What's like one of your favorite little spots that's maybe less common or unknown, or what's like the 14-year like insider's favorite spot, you know?
Well, I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's definitely not unknown. It's pretty popular, but like, I mean, Deep Eddy pool, like, I mean, it's not as popular as like Barton Springs. It doesn't get as much of the tourist traffic, but I think it's so nice. Like I just love going there and just kind of walking around the trail around there, going to Pool Burger. It's I don't know. It seems like, I think it's like the oldest pool in Texas, so it's like a historic site and stuff.
Okay,
but it's, I love doing that. Gosh, where else? I've yeah, I don't know. There's still just so much that I have left to see. But yeah, like the neighborhood I'm in, it's like it's a lot of homes from the 70s. It's very close to Easton Park. It's kind of like right off William Cannon and Pleasant Valley, but it's there's like a ton of families there that have like been living there for generations or are the original homeowners. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I like anything that makes a place feel like hyper local or like more like I don't know what words to use here exactly, but like I'll give you an example. Like I keep going back to like Cassidy's hometown in Wisconsin, right? But her mom is a teacher and has been living in that town for like so long, right?
Oh, it's cool.
And she can't like walk outside or like walk around the block without saying hello to like 800 people that know her, right? Yeah. She knows like everyone. She's like queen of the town, right? And so like anything that can like make a place feel more local, more small, more like a community, right? Is really cool. And there's definitely a lot of that here. So
what I also before I run out of time, I wanted to ask you about becoming a dad and like what that's been like lately. I know you said you didn't get a ton of sleep last night.
No, I got like 4 hours of sleep. I have 2 brain cells. If I don't even know if what I'm saying has been coherent most of this time. But like,
oh, you've been great.
Okay, good. I need we need like a new like social movement for like third places to sleep. Like you know.
Well, we have the hammock, you know, and the bean. No, I'm just kidding.
I've heard stories about. I know I'm not supposed to sleep in the office here. No, I was actually genuinely thinking about that today. I was like, it is not safe to sleep in my apartment right now. You know, when I go home, there's all this stuff to do, and then you got to go to bed, and then just right now it's just like getting woken up a lot in the night. So that's life, and that's okay, you know. But I was like, man, if I'm just like out and about in the middle of my day, and I want to take like just like an hour-long break, where can I go to actually sleep that's not my house, you know? So this is a very niche problem for specifically like new dads within the first 6 to 8 months, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe this will be my small, weird East Side business. It's like, just like come nap for an hour, but like, don't be weird about it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Like one of those Japanese, things where I don't know, it's just like almost like a coffin.
Yeah, the capsules.
Just go to sleep. Yeah, the little capsules.
I would actually love that. I wish our airports had that. I wish we had that in town. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I don't know, if you put it downtown, I could see it being very popular for like South by Southwest.
Yeah. I am all on board. I like miniature things. I like urbanization. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get the capsules.
Were you were you ready to be a dad for like a long time, or was it something where it just like suddenly clicked for you? And
it was sheer terror, just like leading up to it. It's scary because it's like a very clear before and after in life, and I feel like there are very few moments. Like a lot of things just happen gradually, relationships change gradually, but like birth and death are like this is a specific moment in time that your life changed forever, and it's different on one side than it is the other, right? And so just I think the anxiety and anticipation in the months leading up to it of, I don't know how to do this. I've never done this. Are we going to be okay? Are we going to be able to do this? Was a lot. And then once you're on the other side of it, you're like, oh, it's okay. It's like hard, but people have done this for however many years, right? A lot of people have done this. It's okay. You're going to be fine. Like babies are pretty durable, you know, you'll be fine. So yeah, it's been a blast. I feel really good about it now. I don't feel like anxious or stressed anymore.
That's great.
It's funny. One of the fascinating things that I've learned that I didn't know before is that like biology like helps you a lot. Like your body like is really your best pal. So in the first month, there's not much sleep, like at all, right? In the first like couple days, maybe like 1 or 2, maybe 3 hours of sleep a night, and then you just gotta like go the rest of the day and figure out how to do stuff. And during that time, my body was like literally like felt like shooting me up with adrenaline, and so I thought the lack of sleep in the beginning was gonna be really hard, but like your body just like puts you into war mode.
Just power through it.
Yeah. And like it's like, hey, I got your adrenaline. Here's your cortisol or whatever. You're gonna be fine. And then I would like wake up after 1 hour of sleep and be like, all right, time to like do the dishes and clean this and clean that and prepare this, right? So it's like I like actually felt good. Like we were like, you know, we got our groove on. And what's funny is that the sleep thing is actually much harder now, where he's almost sleeping through the night, but like waking up a little bit in the night because now I don't have the adrenaline helping me. You know, we've like returned to like normal life when we're out of the war zone now. So it's like it actually like it's more difficult now a little bit in some ways.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then yeah, so like and then just learning about how like Cassidy's brain chemistry quite literally changes to help her like adapt. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff that happens. It's a cool process.
Yeah, I'm sure you're learning so much every single day.
Yeah,
with it, so.
yeah.
Like I'm not a dad yet, but I want to be at some point.
Yeah.
But I always think I'm not ready and whatever. But I think like based off what you're saying, what I've heard from other dads, it's like you kind of, you know, you just kind of rise to the occasion. You know.
Yeah.
Like you know, once it happens, then you kind of like then you're capable and you can handle more.
Absolutely.
Than you think you can.
Yeah, that's how it is. You're totally ready. You're a stable, mature adult. You know, like you are good to go.
Yeah.
Like I would say go for it.
Well, if thousands of Createscape members are my children, you know, then I feel like I can handle it. So.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a lot of fun. I think I'm just looking forward to the phase where I can like toss him around. Like I just want to be like very physical, like chuck him, you know, wrestle, play soccer.
It sounds like you want to throw him across the room.
kind of a little bit, like not as a baby, you know,
yeah.
but like once he's like a tough little like obnoxious kid that's running around, he's a little brat screaming, and you can just pick him up and chuck him onto the bed or something, you know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just like that kind of stuff.
Getting past like the super fragile baby kind of
stages,
yeah.
Which even babies, like again, I was like super fragile, right? Like so in the hospital, like it's funny, like everyone knows if you're a first time or a second time parent in the hospital, and they treat you accordingly because they can just look at you and they just figure it out, right? They're just like, oh, you're new to this. But like when we had people coming into our room and like handling the baby, like when I would like touch him, I'd like treat him like he's glass. And then I'd see these nurses come in and just like whip him around, like change his diaper, blah, 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 pick him up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my baby. Please, like, just please be careful with my child. And now that I've been doing it like for 6 months, I'm like, yeah, I'm just whipping him around. You know, he's like, yeah. So they're tough little pieces of rubber. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good time though.
Yeah. Well, we're all adaptable.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
This is cool.
Yeah, I had a great time just having this conversation and doing the show. So
yeah, it's a good time. I appreciate that you do this. It's like another thing that adds to the sense of community. And it's kind of funny when I was in college, I always wanted to do this. Like I used to live in Madison, Wisconsin, so I wanted to do this thing called Voices of Madison, where you just go like interview people in the community and just learn their stories and whatnot. And I ended up doing like one of those interviews and publishing it, and then at school, and never had the chance to do it. But I just love the concept, like.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, the first season it was like kind of a mix of some members and then some other people that I knew, and then the second season I really wanted to focus just on members here because I was like, there's so many people doing really cool, interesting, diverse things at Createscape, and I was like, I want to highlight that. I mean, there's I don't know, there's billboards across town that I'll see that are like a local Austin-based company, and I'm like, oh, that person started their company at Createscape. This big shoe brand, they started at Createscape. You know, there's all these like success stories at Createscape, but I, you know, in the past I didn't have this podcast, but I was like, you know, I want to start it just because everyone's always doing really cool stuff here, and I want to just kind of capture some of these stories and put it out there. So
at some point you need like an official record of like the full lore of
Createscape
up until this point, like as you know it, because you have the grand perspective of this like just weird little pocket of the world, you know?
Yeah.
And like I wouldn't want that to get lost, because I know like at one point it like changed locations and everything. Like it wasn't always in this building, and like what was it like in the beginning, and like when did you buy it, and like all this stuff. I don't know. I would love to know all that stuff.
I've thought about a book at some point, just because I have a million different stories, but then I question like, oh, who would want to read this? You know, but who knows? You know, maybe one day. So.
Yeah, some little relic so that an AI 10,000 years in the future, when this is all dust, will like, you know, slurp it up and read it, and then maybe tell someone about it.
There we go. That's the future I want. So.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Well, thank you, George. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And thanks for listening to Curious Blend. Please subscribe to the show on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. We're on all those platforms. And yeah, thanks for watching.